Today, we are very, very pleased and honored to welcome Dr. Wang Bolu. Dear Bolu, you are a senior researcher. You are leading the Green Finance Innovation and Standardization Program at the Research Center for Green Finance Development at Tsinghua National Institute of Financial Research. And you are also convener of the terminology AHG of the ISO TC 322, Sustainable Finance and Technical, and you are a technical expert coordinating the Taxonomy Working Group of International Platform on Sustainable Finance. I had a look at the website, and as a civil engineer, I'm not totally convinced I can understand everything, but you will explain this. Okay. So now you're gonna talk about the financing the low carbon transition of real estate sector framework, products, standards, and opportunities. So Bolu, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you very much, Bruno, for the explanation. Let me first start sharing my screen. So first of all, let me express my sincere gratitude to the web conference organization team. And with their support, I am able to share my views on this important topic with committed participants today. So thank you. In today's speech, I would like to share my understanding and opinions on financing the low carbon transition of the real estate sector from 4 aspects: framework, standards, financial products, challenges, and opportunities. The presentation is divided into the listed 3 parts so that it can be easily understood, just like an appetizer, main course, and a dessert. Before we start, I have a request for the 15 minutes Q&A session after the presentation. And for a hand raiser, before bringing up a question, please use 1 to 2 sentences to share with the audience the identification of your role in the global low carbon revolution. Part 1, the green financial system. What does the terminology green finance mean? According to a UNEP inquiry input paper to G20 in 2016, more than 10 jurisdictions and supranational organizations have tried to explain the concept of green finance, including the Central Bank of China, the government of Germany, Indonesia Financial Service Authority, OECD, and others, as you've seen on the left of the slide. In 2016, G20 Finance and Central Bank Deputies meeting decided to launch the Green Finance Study Group with the mandate to identify institutional and market barriers to green finance and develop options on how to enhance the ability of the financial system to mobilize private capitals for green investment. According to the synthesis report generated by the G20, green finance can be understood as financing of investments that provides environmental benefits in the broader context of environmental sustainable development. And the environmental benefits could include pollution reduction, GHG emission reduction, and resource efficiency. Under Argentina's presidency in 2018, the G20 members have adapted the work of a Green Finance Study Group to the broader concept of sustainable finance, leading to the change of its name to the Sustainable Finance Study Group. In 2021, this year, the Italian presidency of the G20 has decided to restart the work of the Sustainable Finance Study Group, which is co-chaired by China and the United States. So the purpose to establish a green financial system is to effectively mobilize private capitals. Many regions and countries have taken collective actions towards this, such as the European Union, China, Mongolia, ASEAN countries, Kazakhstan, Morocco, and so on. Here, I would like to share the China's example. In 2016, PBOC, together with 6,000 ministries, issued the guidelines for establishing the green financial system to support 3 environmental objectives of sustainable development. That is environmental improvement, climate change mitigation, and resource efficiency. The 5 interlinked pillars of green finance framework include the financial standards, policy incentives, product innovation, risk and impact assessment, rating, and the disclosure. Due to limited time, I will only be able to touch some important points on this slide. The green taxonomy is a classification system which identifies a list of assets and projects that are eligible to be financed with green finance or sustainable finance products. It helps prevent greenwash, hence protect market integrity. It is also a fundamental standard for carrying out other financial market practices such as green bond verification, asset-backed securitization, and information disclosure by financial institutions. The International Platform on Sustainable Finance, launched by the European Union, has established a taxonomy working group with the mission to compare taxonomies issued by different financial jurisdictions and finding the common ground, which is expected to be useful for lowering the barrier for cross-border green capital flow. Monetary policy often aims at price stability in terms of inflation rate by influencing the supply and demand of money and credit in the economy. As environment and climate risk is increasingly recognized as substantial, monetary policies have been applied as incentives mainly by the approach of prudential regulations, central bank refinancing tools, green lending quota mandate, and green criteria for asset eligibility, and so on. Central bank green lending schemes can be seen in countries such as Bangladesh and China. Central bank lending is utilized to promote green finance with specific targets and below market interest rate. Discussion has been going on lowering the risk rate for green assets such as an ambitious approach. In China's case, with stringent credit standards and a lower green loan default rate since 2013, estimation has been made that if the risk rate for green loans can be reduced by 50%, hence the financing cost for those projects financed by green loans can be reduced by 50 base pair on average. And NGFS, the network of central banks and supervisors for green in the financial system, is a group of central banks and supervisors willing to share the best practices and contributions to the development of environment and climate risk management in the financial sector. It has reviewed and assessed existing methodologies to measure climate-related and environmental financial risk at micro level. In 2020, NGFS made 2 important publications. That is, overview of environmental risk analysis by financial institutions and the case study of environmental risk analysis methodologies. Both are available on the NGFS website. Not only green projects and companies need finance, but also traditional and important industries such as steel, cement, chemistry, conventional energy, building, transport, and who are big emitters today can make potentially significant contributions to climate mitigation through green transition. Instead of financing green projects one by one, the financial regulators and market players are considering transition finance as a more effective product group to support the overall green transition of a big corporation. By doing so, the financial institutions will need topic experts to work closely with their clients to understand and monitor their transition strategy, pathway, and action plans. Sustainability reporting intends to provide transparency, and its data output are usually raw input for ESG rating. A big issue with corporate sustainability reporting is that there are too many voluntary unaligned principles, guidelines, and initiatives, which makes it difficult to compare an apple with a banana for investors. So China's jurisdictions have realized the problem and started developing the climate and environmental information disclosure guidelines for commercial banks. I want to point out that the assessment of portfolio impact will rely on data from banks' clients. So therefore, a standardized sustainability reporting by real sector corporations are the key to solve the problem. So here we have a snapshot on the size of China's green finance market, status quo. The total outstanding green loan reached over 10 trillion RMB until the end of 2019. The green bond and green fund issuance are growing very quickly. And then part 2 is financial and industry standards. Here are just a non-exhaustive list of real estate properties coming into my mind. The web conference posted a real difficult question to every participant. What are net zero carbon properties? Put it under the green finance framework, how can investors cost effectively identify green or low carbon properties for various human needs? I noticed that today another keynote speaker will talk about zero carbon residential buildings in 2050, utopian or reality. I really look forward to it. Why do I emphasize cost effectiveness? Because financial institutions must serve the capital needs of its clients in a timely manner. At the operational level of green finance, financial standards can build on industry standards, however, consider accessible performance data that are relevant, significant, and material to risk and return of the assets. So from slide 10 to 15, I listed some selected building activities that are identified in China's green taxonomy, including the ultra-low energy consumption buildings, green buildings, building renovation, application of renewable energy, green building materials, and green warehouse logistics. The detailed description and key technical criteria set for these activities are explicitly listed in the green taxonomy. When green finance is combined with inclusive finance, it unleashes the power to enable broader clean energy coverage, especially in the less developed rural areas. Here is an example from a green finance pilot city, Chuzhou in China. Guarantee and commercial loan and insurance products are combined to finance the rooftop solar installation package. The project does not only replace fossil fuel energy, but also provides extra income to a single family after a 10-year period. The risk control measure for this project is technical requirement on the PV installation provider, especially the panels and electrical parts. And second is the contract terms, including monitoring of PV performance and 48-hour maintenance responses. And third is liability insurance. The second example is the ultra-low energy consumption building located within the Sino-German Eco Park. A green insurance is designed to incentivize the client to purchase or lease units in this building. The practice is replicable to other ultra-low energy consumption building or green buildings. Part 3, challenges and opportunities. So the global low carbon transition poses big challenges to real estate business. When we talk about near zero, net zero, or carbon neutrality, the real estate business needs to bear in mind that climate action is one of the 17 United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. When some multinational banks announce exiting high carbon assets, the business urgently needs scalable, adaptable, and economically feasible low carbon real estate solutions. The goal 7, affordable and clean energy, is a basic need of real estate clients and consumers. Energy accessibility is important for equality, health, and resilience. Until today, I still remember in the 1980s when I lived in the southwest city of China, local communities take turns to black out. My mom had to light up kerosene and later candles for me to do my homework. And goal 11, sustainable cities and communities will greatly change the urban planning, market segmentation, and evaluation of real estate properties in the next 5 to 10 years in China. Aligning efforts by industry and financial stakeholders will help pool resources together into market-driven innovations. And the industry standardization will further coordinate stakeholders along the value chain. The current big barrier is the lack of common language on sustainable finance for industrial and financial players. ISO TC322 has established a terminology expert group to erase the barrier of communication and understanding. And the first publication of ISO TR32220 will be published in the middle of this year. My suggestion is that financial standards can refer to, but should not be mixed or confused with industry standards. This is simply due to the difficult role and the different role and operation of financial and non-financial institutions in the whole economy. A community of common destiny for countries, regions, and the entire human world. I think this is the final goal that connects every participant today. I listed the influential organizations that are making efforts to harmonize sustainable and green finance framework and standards. And some of them have already achieved significant progress, such as G20, IPSF, NGFS, ICMA, ELMA, and so on. And some of them just started with ambitious missions such as IFIS and IOSCO. The global joint fight against COVID-19 has given us a good lesson. The opportunity to realize the climate and other SDGs will finally rely on technology innovation, changing the way we used to live and work. International collaboration on scientific research is key to the miracle of technology innovation. Government regulators should stimulate and encourage scientists and engineers to communicate and collaborate, not setting extra barriers. Finally, and some pilot study and testing programs jointly developed by the public and private sectors can help expedite development of feasible solutions. So this is my speech today, and I hope it is helpful for the audience today, and this is my contact information.